Hey, Stephen Key here, and I've got a special guest for everyone. Brian Walker came all the way from where?
Bend, Oregon.
All the way down to visit me and do this wonderful video because he's got the most amazing background. In fact, you're going to be blown away at this man's talent. So let's start at the very beginning. You build rockets and submarines and things like that?
Yeah, my passion's always been to build really wicked cool things. And in 1977, I had this idea for a two-man recreational submarine, and it took 9 years to get to that.
Okay.
And I met a guy that owns a 500-acre island in Fiji, and he offered to fund my project if I built my submarine on his island. So I went down.
A submarine?
Yeah, a two-man submarine that only went. The compartment you sat in would go 4 feet down,
Okay.
and then there was a big tail up the back with a float. So when the float reached the surface of the water, you'd be suspended 4 feet below. And you just cruise around, look at the fish, and do all that kind of stuff. Really neat little product.
Okay, so he's very talented, and we're going to show you a lot of the things that he's made. It's completely blown me away by the way. But you're a toy inventor, though.
Well,
How does that work?
I consider myself a general inventor. I mean, I can be one day working on a toy, the next day I'm working on a woman's hygiene product. I mean, I have no boundaries. It's whatever I think of. It's just that toys is where I've made my money in the past.
Okay.
But toys is maybe like 15% of my inventiveness now.
Okay. You must have got some training here to do all this stuff, right? You just don't learn how to do this on your own. But have you been professionally trained, or did you just figure it out?
No, I went through all my 13 years of primary education, dyslexic and ADHD, without getting noticed and dealt with. And I graduated high school with a C minus. Never went to college because it terrified me because my primary education had been so dismal. And I just decided I had to go out and teach myself to do everything, from fiberglass work to metal work to woodwork. And lo and behold, now it paid off because I can pretty much build anything I think of.
Okay, now I want to talk about one of your big hits.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, this product or this toy you're going to see, I've seen for how many years?
18.
18 years. And it's in all the, where is it?
Every Disney theme park and Universal and other type of places. Because when the toy first came out in '98, it was just stuffed into a little box hanging on shelves in the novelty departments of toy stores. No one was buying it. No one knew what it did. And then when someone had an idea to show it to Barnum and Bailey, and once they started selling them in a closed environment, a dark tent with tons of kids, then it began to explode.
Okay, show it. We got to see it.
This was my very first original light chaser that I built in 1997. It took me 3 hours. It didn't cost me a penny because I had the parts sitting around.
Wait. 3 hours?
3 hours.
Okay.
And then it was done, and I licensed it to a company called SRM Entertainment. And it almost disappeared because they weren't selling. But once they got into the Barnum and Bailey and then Universal and finally Disney, the thing was absolutely phenomenal.
So why? Was it because of the atmosphere? It was dark?
I believe that having a short, medium, and long strand, it creates 3 circles of light. And there's just something that's synergistic about this.
So
after this version here, that's when, like, here we have, this one's never been used. Here we have, is that Tinkerbell, I guess?
Yes.
That's Tinkerbell. One of my favorites, R2D2.
You got sound.
Yeah, this one's got sound.
Okay, now, all right. Wait a minute, you sold a lot of these, right?
I don't have an exact number, but I believe the toy to date has sold around $700 to $800 million at retail. It's just been, like I said, they've done over 100 different individual designs.
And it's still selling today.
It still sells today.
So you made a couple dollars?
I think that overall it's generated about $10 million in royalties, a third of which went to my agent. So,
okay.
And it still doesn't sell today, but it's not nearly like, I remember in the early days, I'd get a quarterly royalty check for $250,000, $300,000. And the next quarter would be for $300,000, $350,000. And of course, for someone that, up until 1999, I had never made more than $55,000. And in 2000, I made $1.2 million.
All right.
And when you're bipolar, that's like throwing gas on a fire. Because all I can do is spin.
So wait, let's back up. It took you how long to make it?
3 hours.
3 hours with what did it cost?
Well, I had the motor, I had the light. I mean, I had all the parts already in my shop.
Okay, all right. And it's made that much money?
Yeah.
Okay. And at first it didn't really work.
No, first few years it was poor, and I thought it was just going to be dumped and gone away. And then at Toy Fair 2000, one of the guys from SRM said, "Hey, we think you're going to start being happy with your royalty checks." And so my first check after this happened was for $75,000,
Okay.
and then 180,
Okay.
and then 260,
Okay.
and then 340.
Wow.
That was the first year.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it was a lot of money.
Okay.
It was a lot of money.
All right, let's see a couple more.
All right, well, this is a brand. Now, some of these are brand new. I just got last week.
Okay.
That are from. If you notice on here, this is from Shanghai Disney. So this is the Tron version. Now, this is a little different because it only has two lights.
This lights up
These
here.
light up too and stuff. And Mickey looks pretty intense, you know. Yeah, Mickey's gonna come get you. He's gonna come get you.
Okay,
And then this is another a Shanghai, and it's kind of neat because you've got the light action here.
Okay.
And then here's the new Avengers.
Okay. So let's talk about how many times have you been rejected doing this? Because you're a toy inventor now. You're going down south to meet a toy company. Do you get rejected very often?
God, rejection is my middle name. I mean, you know, when I started up with INVENTRRIGHT, I had 35 inventions that I built over the past decade that I never tried to do anything with, because that's part of my problem is I like inventing and I need to invent so much that I completely disregard the other side, and that is making money from it. So when I started there, I had all these products ready to go. I did some provisional patents, I did my videos and stuff, and all I've had now for the past 2.5 months has been rejection. I mean, I've been rejected now about 40 times.
Okay.
So it's...
Okay, so you're in the rejection game, but you know, when we talked on the phone, I said, Brian, why are you an INVENTRRIGHT student? And why?
Well, the main reason, you know, I used to do my own licensing, but I was never that good at it. I never got the best deals.
Okay.
So, yeah, rejection. If you don't have the stomach for rejection, don't get in this game.
So, but how did you find us? But why would you try? What do we do for you?
What do you do for me? I've been out of the game for 10, 12 years, haven't licensed it.
Okay.
And like I said, it takes zero to motivate me to invent.
Okay.
But the other side, because I'm so left hemisphere and no activity in the right hemisphere, doing follow-ups and phone calls and all those little adult things, which I don't do too well. So I figured if I was going to spend money on a program and have a coach and someone that's pushing me, I figured there's a better chance I'm going to follow through than me just sitting at home saying, well, one day I'm going to license that, and one day I'm going to license that, and one day I'm going to, and they never happened. So I joined mostly to get into a little bit of a community, first of all, because I'm kind of isolated, and then secondly, just to
have someone keep you on track.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we found I think a lot of creative people, it's hard to keep on track.
Oh, no, I think all of them are.
So tell us, what advice would you give, or can you give anybody advice about being an inventor? I mean, what are some of the things that you learned, maybe you wouldn't do before, or maybe just, what would you tell anybody that's starting out, that wants to be an inventor?
Well, first of all, if you're bipolar, good luck. Because that's my problem, is that I am so intent on inventing that that's all I do. So I would give advice that if you start on an invention, finish it.
Okay.
Make the effort to license it before you start this one. But for me, I would
jump around all the time.
I get 80% done on this, and then I get a flash of inspiration for a new idea. Now I be 80% into this. I get another flash. So now, 2 months later, I've got like 14 inventions that are in varying stages of completion. So you've got to be able to focus on your product, and you want to also think it through every possible way you can, so that you've covered all your bases. Because, you know, I've invented things before and I thought they were perfect, and lo and behold, one day out of the blue, boom, I'm thinking, oh my God, if I had done this, it would have been 10 times better. Right. So you really need
stay on track.
Stay on track.
Finish it, because we have a lot of, you know, a lot of us that are creative.
Right, right.
Jump around.
Right.
But we always force people to go, hey, look, you got to complete this before you go and have fun on something else.
Right.
Because I think a lot of creative people do that. What else was I going to ask you about your creativity? Do they just come to you at night or in the shower, drive you? How does this stuff come out?
I've invented and prototyped over 800 things in my life, from the small to the huge.
Okay.
And I don't think I have ever in my entire life actually sat down and said, okay, it's time to invent something.
All right.
They just
come. Okay, you cannot stop. You cannot stop it.
And a lot of times I'll pick up something that has one purpose to it.
All right.
And this has happened to me literally. And I drop it, and it behaves a certain way when it hits the ground, and I go, oh, and boom, I've come up with something. Or sometimes I'll be working on one invention that has one specific purpose, and then all of a sudden I decide that with a small modification, it'll do something entirely different. So you don't want to rush to a provisional patent. You want to make sure you've covered and you put as much information as possible, because also once you file that provisional patent, you've got 1 year to either convert it into a real patent or you lose it forever. So filing provisional patents, and I've done this. I filed probably 6 provisional patents that I just was too lazy to really push, and they all expired.
All right.
So
you get ready to push within that year.
Right.
I wanted to talk a little bit about licensing.
Mm-hmm.
Because for a lot of creative people that don't want to do the business.
No, that's me. I don't want to do business. I mean, I have to force myself.
Okay.
Because like I said, that's adult stuff, and I'm a kid. Okay? I never grew up. I never had a family. I never got married. I haven't had a job in 30 years.
Okay.
I've been accountable to no one. I've had no responsibilities. I'm a kid, and adult stuff scares me.
All right. So licensing is perfect for you, because I think there's a lot of us out there, including myself. I don't want to run a business.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah.
I want to have this fun, and I want a company that's already in business, that's got everything, and is going to play that adult role, which I really don't want to play. And they do all of it, and they send us checks. Sometimes people are always looking at, well, how much work am I putting into this now? It's not really working, so I'm going to give up.
Right.
Well, if you have that attitude, it's never going to work for you. You got to love it enough to say, look, I'm doing this.
Yeah. But yeah, there's no quit. There is quicker. Like, I've licensed products before, and 6-7 months later, they were producing royalties. Okay. More commonly is a year or more.
Got it.
Depending on the product, depending on the company. I mean, if it's something simple that doesn't, you look at all of these different products and think about, they made over 100 versions. Each one of these had to have, like, how many injection molds did this take? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Probably a 15 cavity mold, and there's probably 30 individual components that go into this, okay? Now I have another product right now that's kind of along the lines of this. It's an animating, it animates little characters and makes them look alive. It's the coolest thing you've ever seen. And it only has like 6 parts.
Okay.
So that can be put into production so much faster than this. So these are all the things you got to look at. What is my product? What's it going to take to produce? How much tooling? How much design? How much additional development is the company going to have to put into after what I brought them? These are all the things that filter into how long it's going to take for them to make a decision, how long it's going to take to go into production, and the most important part, how long until I'm going to start seeing those checks roll.
Those checks. Well, everybody, this has been an amazing journey for me, and I want to thank you for stopping by and showing us your wonderful. I mean, this is truly wonderful. I brought my kids to Disney World, Disneyland over the years, and this has been around for a long time. You said how many years?
18 years.
18 years. So, you guys, if you get rejected, no big deal. You can do it. You probably need something to keep you on track. Yes, you do. And you can make a lot of money? Yes, no?
Yeah. I mean, I never expected this thing. Are you kidding? 3 hours investment. I figured when I got my $5,000 advance, I figured that's all the money I'd ever see on it. I really never really expected to see anything.
All right. You guys, thank you for watching. Once again, Brian Walker, thank you for coming by. Keep on watching. We're going to show you exactly how to do this to get you in the game, get you off the couch, get you to license those ideas.